Welcome to God's Kingdom, where every story brings you closer to God.
What if I told you that some of the most powerful, most relevant advice on communication today doesn't come from a new bestseller or a viral video, but from a guide written almost 3,000 years ago? Well, let's dive in and uncover the hidden power of your words. So let me just ask you a question. When you think about all the tools you have to shape your world, influence people, build your life, what do you think is the single most powerful one you've got? The answer? Well, it might actually surprise you. It's not your phone. It's not your computer, it's not your connections, it's your tongue. Yeah, that small, often overlooked part of you holds an absolutely incredible amount of power. To really understand just how much power we're talking about, our ancient source uses these brilliant analogies. It shows us how incredibly small things can create massive, even world-altering results. Okay, check this out, because there's a clear pattern here. You have a tiny piece of metal in a horse's mouth that controls the entire powerful animal. You have a small rudder that steers a massive ship, even against strong winds. And then there's the tiny spark, which can set an entire forest on fire. The message is crystal clear. Never, ever underestimate the power of small things.
And this is the main point right here. Just like that bit, that rudder, and that spark, your tongue has that same kind of outsized power. The words you choose can literally steer your entire life toward good things, or they can start a fire of destruction in a relationship, at your job, or online that just consumes everything. It's both a tool for control and a weapon of chaos, all in one.
So, if our words are that powerful, why are they so ridiculously hard to manage? Well, this gets us to the core problem this ancient wisdom points out, this fundamental and frankly kind of baffling contradiction in how we use our speech. Here's the fascinating paradox. We humans, we are masters at taming wild things. We train lions, horses, birds, you name it. And yet the one thing we seem totally incapable of fully taming is the thing right inside our own mouths. The source even calls it a restless evil, something that just resists our best efforts to control it. And this is where the contradiction gets really sharp. Out of the very same mouth, we can speak words of the highest praise, and then, sometimes just moments later, from that exact same source, we unleash words that curse and belittle other people. The author is super direct about this, just saying this should not happen. And to make us really think about how weird this is, the guide asks a simple question. Can a freshwater spring suddenly start pumping out salt water? Can a fig tree start growing olives? The answer is obvious, right? Of course not. A source produces according to its own nature. So, here's the crucial takeaway. Our words aren't just random sounds. They're an overflow. They are a direct window into what's going on inside of us, in our hearts. If our speech is inconsistent, praising one minute and cursing the next, it's because there's an inner conflict that we need to deal with. And that brings us to the solution. See, the problem isn't just about trying harder to control our words. It's about changing the source. And this ancient wisdom presents us with a choice between two fundamentally different types of wisdom that guide everything we say and do. Let's just break this down. On one side, you have what the guide calls earthly wisdom. And look at its ingredients: bitter jealousy, selfish ambition. The kind of stuff that fuels toxic workplaces and angry comment sections. And what's the result? Chaos and confusion. But on the other side, you have heavenly wisdom. The contrast is, wow, it's pure, peace-loving, gentle. The wisdom you operate from is what determines the kinds of words you produce. Simple as that. Now, choosing the right wisdom isn't just some internal philosophical exercise. It has tangible, real-world results. And this brings us to the ultimate outcome, which is framed in this beautiful farming metaphor. Think about that for a second. Your words are seeds. If you operate from that heavenly wisdom, if you're a peacemaker, then you're planting seeds of peace, and the harvest you eventually get from that is one of righteousness, of goodness, of healthy relationships. Your words are literally creating your future reality. So let's just do a quick recap of the core message here. First, never underestimate the power of your words. They are huge. Second, remember that your tongue is basically a mirror for your heart. Third, you got to actively avoid that earthly wisdom of jealousy and selfish ambition. And finally, consciously choose the kind of wisdom that creates peace. And that leaves us with one final crucial question to think about. As you go about your day, think of every conversation, every text, every email.
Think of all your words as seeds. The big question is, what kind of harvest are you sowing with them today?
Thank you for watching our video. Like, share and subscribe for more.